Welcome back. I am Collins Trott, Child Development Faculty on the Wallace Community College Dothan campus. In this episode, we are going to be learning about the Large Motor Center. This episode describes the importance of the Large Motor Center. We will also discuss how a well-set-up Large Motor Center can promote a child's development in many domains, including social, emotional, cognitive, language, and creativity. So join me, Ms. Trott, as we learn all about the Large Motor Center. Running, jumping, and climbing are large motor skills closely associated with young children. The very essence of early childhood, most people readily agree. Striding, gliding, and galloping are locomotor skills that young children seem to accomplish almost without effort. Whirling, twirling, and bending are whole body movements that preschool youngsters perform with verve and vigor. Young children love to move, but they are finding it increasingly difficult to do so safely and confidently in appropriate places and large enough spaces. This should not stop them. Children are hardwired to move. If parents and teachers encourage, praise, and validate physical activity, children will do their part. But adults like you must serve as role models. If you make physical activity an important part of your own life, then it will eventually become programmed into children's lifestyles as well. If you make physical activity a center part of the self-directed learning environment, then children will know what they need to accomplish in order to lead healthy lives like yours. As a crucial component of the self-directed learning environment, the Large Motor Center must be set up to appeal to children's own interests in motor skills. As an essential element in the appropriate practices curriculum, it should include child-initiated activities to enhance development of certain large motor skills. The center should also be available for children's daily use, just as the other classroom learning centers are. What about an outdoor playground or an indoor gymnasium? They also have an important role in children's development of large motor skills because many running, jumping, climbing, balancing, swinging, sliding, and riding skills cannot be practiced freely in the classroom. Outdoor and gym time need to complement the daily program wherever possible, but they do not substitute for large motor activities within the classroom. Children need in-class large motor experiences on a daily basis. In the developmental scheme of things, the focus should be on large motor skills for preschool children. These skills are the foundation for much of the rest of the child's development. Parents and teachers alike want that foundation to be a strong one. We know what competency in movement is important for children now and in the future. Because the ability to move affects children socially, emotionally, and physically, children who score significantly below normal in the area of motor development are not likely to be included in the games of their more highly skilled playmates. They are also likely to experience problems in the area of peer relationships and self-esteem. The Large Motor Center of the preschool classroom should contain equipment and materials to promote the development of many physical skills. Flexible equipment is best. A multi-use climber is as important indoors as outdoors. A junior gym or house gym that includes a ladder going up to the fenced-in platform on top and a slide going down provides challenges for several children at a time in using the large muscles of the arms, legs, feet, hands, and torso. Large motor centers can have a variety of activities at particular stations within the center or scattered throughout the room, if necessary. These stations can include walking, running, riding, jumping, balancing, crawling, stretching, throwing, climbing, and creative movement. Most classrooms do not contain space enough for all or even some of the stations described. 1 or 2 stations at a time are the most your children can use to best advantage. In addition, the center can display pictures of children involved in climbing, crawling, jumping, and running. If you do not have a source for such pictures, take digital camera photos of your own children as they climb, crawl, or slide. Enlarge them and mount them in the center. The particular stations you set up will depend upon the needs and interests of the children based on your observations. As you do in each of the other learning centers in the classroom, you will be observing individual children to determine their large motor abilities. In this case, manipulation, mastery, and meaning are not practical observation points because the focus is on children's physical skill development rather than on their interaction with materials. You will use an observation checklist of skills such as the Large Motor Skills Checklist. Observe individuals on the playground, in the gymnasium, and in the classroom, checking off the skills you see them accomplish. This is not a test, nor should you ask the children to perform a certain skill. More than one checklist can be used by the various staff members to check off the skills for each child as they see them. The results are then collected. If a number of the children exhibit developmental lags in certain skills, set up stations in the Large Motor Center to promote these skills. As children progress in these abilities, other stations can be added and the original stations put aside for the time being. Keep a station in use for as long as the children show a need for developing this particular skill. In addition to taking into account children's developmental needs, your rationale for including particular stations can involve the children's own interests, as well as the integration of large motor experiences with other classroom activities. Now, let's review what we've learned. Large motor activities can impact children's development in all areas. In setting up large motor centers, the teacher needs to provide flexible, multi-use equipment, have children create their own climbing and crawling apparatuses, and mount pictures of children involved in the types of activities. The teacher's role is to set it up in the first place with appropriate materials for the children's easy selection and return. Then, teachers will observe individuals using large motor checklists and set up stations based on observations and interests. That wraps us up for this episode. You can learn more about this topic by reviewing the resources posted in your course. As always, if you have any questions, please contact me or your instructor. Thanks for joining me, Miss Trott, as we learn all about the Large Motor Center. See you next time.